We're back.
And deader than ever.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Tamara. And this is
Ghoul Beans.
Episode 5.
Episode 5, baby.
Episode 5, and we're not alive.
Hey.
I don't know how to rhyme very well.
Yeah, so today we are
at the most haunted hotel in Chicago,
the Congress Plaza Hotel.
We're there right now.
Currently sitting in a room
at a tiny little table,
huddled together
in a little corner with our one mic. Spooky.
It's actually pretty spooky in this room.
It was spooky when we walked in.
Yeah, but what a way to start off our local lore live episodes on location. Yeah, at the coolest hotel in the world.
That's a bold claim.
It is, but it's most haunted.
Yeah,
in Chicago.
Good allegedly. For us. It can only go up from here. I know. Now we're going to have to think about ways to top ourselves.
We're going to your old basement next time.
Oh my god, no, we're never going there.
Speaking of episodes,
we are going to start posting once a week.
Yay! Now you have to deal with us more often.
Woo, good for you. Good for us. Jinx.
You owe me coffee.
Oh, man.
So, what did we sip on earlier? Because it's currently 9:30 p.m. At the Congress Plaza Hotel. Did we mention we're staying here on location?
I know. There's going to be a lot of pauses because personally, I keep hearing things. Like doors opening where there's not doors.
Definitely.
You heard like a screechy, scratchy a moment ago.
Yeah. You know, we're in a hotel. There are people. It doesn't seem like it when you're walking the halls, but...
I was going to say, are there?
Are there? Are we even here?
I think it's us and the staff. I've seen a grand total of like 5 people. But that being said, we've been here a few hours already. So it's 9:30 at night. We already sipped our coffee.
This ain't coffee, people.
No, that is...
Sierra Mist.
Okay.
Lemon lime. Yummies.
Is there another... There's probably like cherry Sierra Mist. That sounds good, right? But anyway. We went to a coffee called Charmer's Cafe in the northern part of Chicago. I had a brown sugar shaken espresso, and it was very delicious. Oat milk, because I don't do dairy.
It was really good. I do not like brown sugar drinks. I also don't like oat milk, but that slapped. I
call it an oatmeal cream pie. You don't like oatmeal cream pies? The little Debbies?
No, I do.
You don't like Little Deb?
I love Little Deb. Little Deb? We go way back. But, what are the ones? The Nutter Butters? No. The...
Zebra Cakes.
No. Sorry.
My partner loves zebra cakes.
Is that the same thing as the the Galaxy ones?
Ding Dong.
No, it's the one where it's the wafer and the chocolate and the peanut butter.
Nutty Bar.
Oh, I love a Nutty Bar.
I hope it's called a Nutty Bar, otherwise I'm just like saying things. But everybody knows what you're talking about.
Anyway, I had an espresso hazelnut latte, and it wasn't that great. Espresso was kind of burnt, but that's okay.
Dairy milk?
Dairy milk, because I love cream from the cow.
I knew you were going to say that. Straight from the cow.
I'm not that intolerant yet, just with a lot of ice cream.
So like cream-based things.
So cheese, no.
No cheeses at all?
No, I would kill myself before I gave up cheese.
Do you know this is the second episode we've talked about your dairy intolerance?
And you're in denial. Tolerance for dairy that you keep denying me. But no, Charmer's was so cute. So the coffee that I had was okay. The coffee that Tamara had was incredible. So I'm assuming there are other things on that menu that are highly worth getting. There were smoothies. There was a smoothie I wanted to get there.
There was smoothies. There was ice cream. There was teas. There's food.
And there's swings that you can sit on as seats inside.
Yeah, the inside was very, like, I don't know how you would describe it. Like if you ran into a plant shop on a train station.
Yeah, with a swing set.
With a little swing set and also a fireplace.
It was very modern in, like, someone's old house, is what it felt like.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I think it was really cute. They were selling those plants. A lot of them, you could just, like, they have plant sales.
They were all real plants. It was so cute. Please go see it. It's in Rogers Park in Chicago.
Yeah.
So, Tamara, we're at the Congress Plaza Hotel, the most haunted building in Chicago.
That we've only seen from the outside on a ghost tour so far.
Up to this point. Definitely have walked past it a million times, went on several ghost tours, have seen it, have heard about it. We're inside of it. We're on the floors. Why do we even care?
I care because this is like my backyard. I care because when we were on the ghost tour, we were scared shitless.
I care because we definitely saw ghosts in the hotel on that ghost tour.
Oh, you mean from like the sidewalk looking up to the windows?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we first decided that this is what we were gonna do for Halloween, I immediately was brought back to whenever we're standing out front at night.
Yeah.
If you've been to Chicago, you've done a ghost tour.
You've like probably accidentally done a ghost tour. I've been on so many like architectural tours where they're also like, and now the ghosts.
Yeah, this also was deeply haunted and like possessed by Al Capone.
Which honestly, I care more about that than the Burnham brothers who built all the hotels out here.
And the cow.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Bessie.
Is it? Mm-mm. Oh, I was like, I don't want to do that to her.
I don't know what the cow's name was.
Do you know what the name of the cow is?
The cow?
Charlotte?
I'll call her Charlotte. Maybe her like nickname was Charlotte.
She charred the town.
Oh shit. Charlotte, you little bitch.
No, she was cleared. Her name was cleared. That's slander against Bessie Charlotte the cow. Like... You know, if you don't know Chicago history,
for sure,
that the cow kicked over a lantern, burned down the farm, and then the whole city went up like a matchbox. That is verbatim what they say on every tour.
It was another witch hunt.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the goddamn cow.
What was it?
It was a human. It was the cow.
It's always the human.
It's always the human.
Okay, so I care because I just care about ghosts, and we always wanted to stay in a haunted hotel, and this one's particularly horrifying.
Yeah, and it's like perfect. It's right on the Chicago skyline.
So gorgeous.
Yeah, you'll see it if you go to Millennium Park, Grant Park.
Yeah. If you look up a picture of the Chicago skyline, you'll see the big old Congress
red
Hotel.
Letters.
Yep. Okay, so that's why we care. What are we scared?
We're scared because there's a long history of murders and suicide in this building. Literally, everything you can think of is listed as a haunt from this hotel.
We're scared because our closet door opened within 3 minutes of us.
Let's get into it.
Okay. But before we get into it, first you have to listen to me be boring for a second and just give you a little sneak peek.
Give it to him.
Peek. Explanation? Give it to him. Okay, so obviously, Congress Plaza Hotel, the most haunted building.
We cannot stress this enough.
I cannot stress that I'm sitting in.
It has like an insidious vibe.
It does. It's very oppressive walking through the halls, just to be forewarned.
It has a looming presence on the street.
It really does. It's old. Anyway, so it's located on South Michigan Avenue across from Grant Park. If you've been to Lollapalooza, you've probably seen it, stayed here, walked past it. It opened for the World's Fair in 1893 again. And it now features 871 guest rooms and suites.
That is unbelievable.
It is. It's split up between two towers. We are staying on the South Tower.
We're in the South Tower.
That goes up to 14 floors, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And then the North Tower goes up to 12 floors. And it is frequently referred to as the most haunted building in Chicago.
If there was a more haunted one,
I would let you know.
And we would have been there.
That's where we would stay. The KFC down the street, that's where we'd be sleeping tonight.
The KFC, the Potbelly downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
The Bean across. Oh, my gosh.
The
what were
Bean.
we thinking?
No, maybe tomorrow we can.
Maybe tomorrow.
Ghoul Bean.
Ghoul the Bean.
Ghouls
also known
take
as
on the
Cloudgate,
bean.
but that's not as fun.
And it's not a bean, it's a drop of mercury. You just should know that.
It is shaped like a kidney bean.
It is, but the artist would be pissed.
The artist doesn't know who I am.
You don't know me.
He's not listening.
I would like to, before we get into the ghosts, have a couple of dishonorable mentions.
Oh, man.
So our first one, famous man, H.H. Holmes, one of America's first known serial killers. He was notorious during the World's Fair for building his own murder hotel in the south side of Chicago, and it was allegedly filled with a bunch of trapdoors, gas chambers, staircases to nowhere, and also a human-sized oven. He confessed to murdering about 27 people, but it is definitely believed to be a crap ton more, because what would happen people would come here for the World's Fair to, like, get jobs and stuff, and they would leave their families, and, like, women would come. Oh. Sorry, we're in Chicago. At the most... Take
a shot every time we say it's the most
haunted. But yeah, no, women especially would, like, come out here looking for work, especially in all the new hotels that were being built. And then it was very common to not hear from your family once they moved out here, or hear from them. And so he would just, like, murder a bunch of people. Yeah, no one was like, hey, BRB, going to World's Fair.
Yeah.
Tallest Ferris wheel.
Selfie
In my gas chamber. So anyway, so that was not this hotel. It was, again, on the south side, 100 rooms. But he would come and hang out in the lobby.
Of the Congress.
Yeah, of this hotel. He would meet women and lure them back to his hotel. Be like, oh, you don't like this hotel.
So he was, like, chilling downstairs. Like,
yeah.
No, this
place is got rats.
Trash. I hear it's haunted.
I hear there's, like, a murder here. No.
It's not safe.
It's not safe.
Low security.
Come to my hotel. So yeah, he's disgusting, and the Devil in the White City, I believe, is based off of him. So go read that in your English class. And then the second person that we're going to mention who has frequented here was Al Capone, and he was known for having a suite on the 8th floor of the North Tower.
The North Tower is definitely, and we'll definitely get into it, it's where the energy changes. But thank you for giving us the history. I'm going to give us a few of the alleged ghosts, alleged hauntings that are happening here.
Please. So
you were just mentioning Al Capone. Al Capone was sent to headquarters here. And you're allegedly going to see him on the 8th floor where his suite was. According to the people who have seen the ghosts, they say that he must have brought with him spirits from the Valentine's Day Massacre.
Ooh.
Which is disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
So imagine that's just on the 8th floor.
And that's just people that, like, were like, yeah, we could go kick it at the Congress, too.
Right. What? Good for them. Good for us.
Not good for us.
There's another ghost, a 6-year-old Karel Langer, whose family was fleeing Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia. And while his family was waiting for Karel Sr., he never showed up. He abandoned his family, and so the mother of 2 little boys, Carl and another little nameless boy, she threw them out of the window of room 1252, which we went past. And his body was never sent to the morgue.
She threw them out the window?
Mm-hmm. Threw them.
She was like...
And her too.
I'm upset. We're all going.
I think that at that point, if you have no way of making money as a woman, and you're stuck in this hotel, where are you going to go?
Oh my God.
You had nowhere. They fled Czechoslovakia. So that is he is said to haunt room 1252 and the 12th floor, actually.
I'm surprised she is not haunting up there.
She might be.
She might be. It felt like maybe.
On the bottom floor, in the gold room, also like the grand ballroom. And when you think of a grand ballroom, think the Stanley Hotel. Think the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. It is...
Make it gold.
Make it gold. Actually, it is gold. It's called the Gold Room in The Shining.
Is it?
Yeah, we just rewatched The Shining. My partner and I just rewatched it, and it's literally called, like, the Gold Room.
Interesting. Not very creative back then, huh?
No. You only got, like, 4 names.
The Gold Room.
Ballroom. Grand Ballroom.
Grand Ballroom.
The Grand Gold Ballroom.
We just, like, opened that sliding door, and now it's bigger, so it's the Grand
Well, speaking of
Ballroom.
doors, a disembodied hand is said to appear in the closet of the Gold Room, rumored to be the hand of the employee there was an employee who got trapped in the walls and suffocated to death. And, not to sidetrack, but a little sidetrack, I fully believe that someone got lost in the walls. Because we got lost not in the walls.
Not in the hallway that had signs to the exit, and I was very confused.
Peg Leg Johnny. So there's contradicting stories about Peg Leg Johnny. Mm-hmm. The first one is that he was staying here. He was a guest who was staying here. He had a wooden right leg and had a heart attack in, like, the dining area downstairs.
Okay.
It said that he turns the light on and off and messes with electronics, like technology. And And then the other story, which is the conflicting story, is that Peg Leg Johnny was a homeless man who was shot in the alley behind the Congress.
Bummer.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding. That's horrible. It's also gross that he's here. And
in any sense. Or there's two, and they're both getting attributed to Peg Leg Johnny. You know what I mean?
Two pirates walk into the Congress Hotel.
One of them leaves.
Oh, man.
Room 441. There is a shadow man spirit in room 441. Nobody knows how he got there. Mm-hmm. He just exists. He kicks the beds and rips the sheets off, moves objects, and it's famously the most active hotel room in the most haunted
in Chicago.
When we asked the security guard.
Wait, hold on. Don't do Pete like that.
What?
Tell him how we originally met him.
Oh, yes.
We gotta tell the whole story.
Okay, let me get through the other haunts.
Of Pete, the security guard.
So, here's another gruesome little fact. Ew. James Kennedy, in May of 1910, checked into the Congress, cut off all the tags of all of his clothes, burned any documentation that he was here and that he had with him, walked across the street, which we have a view of, by the way. I can see Grant Park from here. Walked across the street to Grant Park and shot himself in the head with a pistol.
Why? Did they say why?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very, very sad, very gruesome, very intense.
Yeah, this hotel has seen a lot of just, like, sadness.
And then not confirmed, but exists. Room 666 exists. It is now sealed. And there was the theory that it used to get used by Satanists to hold rituals.
Yeah, so that's horrifying. Already hotels are scary because you don't really know, I mean, any place of coming and going, like, you don't know who's going to be there, what they're going to do there, like,
what their intentions are.
How many people come here and play with Ouija boards, you know what I mean?
Oh, stop. No. I
Not
won't.
us.
And
not
who are you going to call? Not me.
Us.
If you bring out the Ouija board, I'm going to leave.
This hotel, unlike most any other hotel, has a floor 13. And I don't know if you've ever, like, been to a hotel, but you will notice that, like, it goes 12 to 14. Most buildings, really, just because humans are superstitious. This one kept its 13th floor.
I wonder if that's an American superstition.
I don't know.
We have a lot of listeners from a lot of different places.
That's true. Somebody tell us, please. ghoulbeanspodcast@gmail.com.
Is there a superstition in your country or wherever you're from that there can't be a 13th floor of a hotel or a building because it's bad luck?
Yeah, because literally almost any building that can go up to 13 or above will skip the number 13.
And we would both seriously love to know. So
yes,
email us at ghoulbeanspodcast@gmail.com. You can DM us at ghoulbeanspodcast on Instagram. We're on Reddit, Facebook. Everywhere we are Ghoulbeans Podcast, except TikTok. We are Ghoulbeans Pod. We only have one TikTok so far, so show us some love.
Please. So yeah, that is a fun little fact. We arrived
here today at about 4:00. It was still really bright out. We had a plan coming here of, let's take some pictures, let's record. We had a little strategy to bring all of our stuff upstairs. Me and Kelly checked into the hotel. We're with our partners right now. Partners, say hi.
Yo. They're really happy to be at the most haunted building in Chicago. I can't stress this enough.
We walked in.
And
I kind of just beeline for registration.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our hands full of things.
Yeah, we looked like lunatics. But it's still it's weird. So if you go to any kind of old hotel in Chicago, you're going to pay luxury price for subpar situation.
Historical.
You're paying for the history. You're paying for the World's Fair history.
Yeah.
I could look out my window and see the World's Fair is what they're selling me.
And we were sold.
We were. Currently, I'm seeing a line of Pace buses, but that's fine.
But we walked up to the registration desk, and I very kindly asked, what room we were in, and she said we're on the 2nd floor. And I asked her if we could just get put on the 4th floor. And she says, yes, there's one available. And she very hesitantly went, it's room 415. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. And she goes, okay, I just like to ask.
Yeah, because 415
what the hell?
It's right down the hall from 441.
Right. And we're on... The building is divided into evens and odds, which is hell on earth.
It's evens, it's odds. It's like I said, there's literal rooms. There are hallways where you could walk in and maybe there's like 5 rooms on each side. And then there's a hallway and there's 1 room. And then there's a hallway and there's 2 rooms and a stairwell. It is so confusing.
Yeah, very labyrinthian.
Very labyrinthian.
So we got on the 4th floor.
Yeah, we stepped off that elevator and it was heavy.
Yeah, so the elevator is like, to me, it's an entirely gold 1920s Chicago elevator company elevator.
It is old. It's beautiful.
Actually, it's really, really, really pretty.
The doors are beautiful. The inside's an elevator.
Yeah, for sure.
It's an old elevator.
But we walked into the room, and how would you describe this room we're sitting in?
It's very big, but it feels... The ceilings are probably... I can't really gauge feet. I'm 6 foot.
Yeah, you're 6
maybe
foot.
Like 18 feet tall. Fair?
I would say, yeah.
20 maybe?
18.
20 feels aggressive.
Yeah.
They're tall, but you feel like they're almost too short. There's 4 of us in the room right now, so it feels okay. But when it was just us, it felt very claustrophobic in here.
Yeah, there's you walk in, there's a small bathroom right to your left. There's a closet that is the
walk-in closet, which
I guess it's walk-in.
You're transported.
You can fit people in there
to the 1890s when you walk into that closet.
There's like exposed pipes and like vintage light fixtures, like not 80s. Like 20s light fixtures.
So I opened the closet and I saw how gross it was and I said, ew, and closed it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we put our stuff. I was grabbing stuff to like get ready to go take some pictures.
Yeah.
Went into the bathroom and Tamra opened the closet and was like, ew, have you seen this closet? And I was like, yeah, gross. She also closes the door.
Twice.
Yeah, because it does like stick a little, or
actually, it felt like the knob wasn't how it went. Yeah, it didn't like lock into place.
Yeah, and it did for me. So then we're in the bathroom talking,
rating the
fear factor of the bathroom.
Yeah, and also the bathroom supplies. We're just going through.
Oh yeah, as if we might not need them tonight.
I don't know what we were thinking. We're excited to be here. And I step out of the bathroom, and the door was open.
Yeah.
Not like way open, but it was ajar.
Yeah, it was ajar.
And I paused and I went, Kelly, you watched me close that door, right?
We promptly closed the bathroom door and just took some deep breaths.
Had to reset for a moment.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah, and then our partners came up here, and we were all together, got settled, went outside, took some pictures.
And then we went exploring, and our first stop was the gold room, the ballroom, in the most haunted. We are not ghost hunters. I don't know where any of us got the courage to be like, let's go into this dark-ass room and
I know
walk
where
around.
I got it.
It was daylight, and there were 4 of us.
Oh, I guess so. But I was I was thinking more like, what are the odds? Because I have seen on so many sites when I was researching this place that you'd have to ask somebody to get in there.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's open, like, let's go,
Yeah, so we're walking around, and then we hear the jingle jangle of our good friend Pete, which we had not met yet.
Don't skip over the vibes of the ballroom.
The vibes were horrible. Like, no one
The vibes were definitely possession.
Matt immediately...
it looks like a theater.
It looks like a theater. There's a second, floor with a balcony. I was just staring at the dark corners. I don't know. I don't know why I stare into the scariest place just willing something to be there when I don't want it to be.
Yeah. Imagine an opera house at night. Oh. That's essentially what we were in. There's these huge arches that are curtained. Yeah. That are totally in the dark other than...
With, light behind them, though. So, you definitely were like, I'm going to see a shadow walk across.
Some of them were totally pitch black. But there is a little bit of light seeping in from, the little brunch area. So, it was not so bad.
It was not bad when you were facing that way. Matt beelined it there. He was like, let's go to the light, please.
Didn't waste any time.
So then we hear the jingle jangle of Petey Boy, and he's the security guy, and we hadn't met him yet, so we ran deeper into the ballroom.
Yeah.
We're not escaping any crimes if we commit them, that's for sure.
I just didn't want, I was like, I don't know how to leave the room. I don't know. That was our first instance of, like, you can definitely just, like, get trapped.
For sure.
There's, like, just sometimes only one way in, one way out.
And so he, like, came in and said, hey, the lights are off. You guys aren't supposed to be in here. And we were like, dope. We're leaving. Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
My bad.
Oops. So as Tamara mentioned, we're staying on the 4th floor, so we came back up here and
to find room 441.
Yeah, we were like, we might as well go straight to the big stuff. Mm-hmm. So we are walking down the halls. It just is gross. It's confusing. It's weird. So you're feeling weird as you're walking through. And we find 441, the numbers. So there's like placards for the numbers on each of the rooms, but they're all different. Mm-hmm. The doors are different. Like, some are wood, some are like...
Some of the doors don't have placards.
Some of them don't have placards. Some are like really tall. Some of them are short. Like, I can't...
Some of them are wood. Some of them are metal. Some of them are like curtains. I don't know how to describe it.
It would make sense if this was the hotel filled with gas chambers and trapdoors. Like, that's what I would imagine here, because it is so confusing. Every single floor looks different. There are so many rooms. There's rooms that have padlocks on them. There's rooms that don't have doorknobs. There's one room that said it was a fire exit, but has like a key in it and a room number. It was like a fever dream, honestly.
Yeah, I felt like we were like on acid or something.
Collectively tripping.
Yeah. Like, we were going to leave the hotel and be like, it's been 33 years.
Yeah.
We thought we'd never see you guys again.
But 441, instead of anything, has in... like Sharpie. Marker scrawl, like 441.
Yeah, right above the eye hole.
Yeah, it might as well have like, I don't even know. And so we like are standing there listening.
But then who ran into us once again?
Almost as if he knew
we were gonna be there.
He's like, okay, I know what they're doing. So Pete comes through the door, because again, like, some hallways just have like, they're just between two doors for no reason. And he's like, are you guys staying here? Like,
he goes, I saw you guys in the ballroom.
Yeah.
We're like, yep, that was
us.
Like,
yeah, we're in 415. And he was like, listen, hand to God, straight from Scary Movie etiquette. He said,
oh my
listen,
God.
Don't roam around here. And we're like, okay, he caught us in the ballroom. He caught us just walking the halls. Like, he's going to report us. He said, don't roam around here in the dark, because you're going to find something.
He was like, yeah, he was like, you don't want to be out when it's late.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay. And he's like, I don't know, do you believe in ghosts?
He's like the guy at the gas station.
He had like a gleam in his eye,
around,
like,
man.
Yeah. Like in the like silhouetted almost.
Yeah, and he said
it was so perfect.
It was, and he said like in the past year we have a report of incidents of ghost encounters like this high, and you can't see my fingers, but they're pretty far apart. Like in the past year. And so he said like
a 3-inch thick stack of paper.
Yeah, and he was like, if you're afraid of ghosts, don't go looking around here in like the dark areas, because you're gonna get scared.
Yeah, if you're afraid, it's better to just not look.
Yeah. So then we're like, okay, thanks, blah, blah. When we told him, we're like, that's why we're here. We're like, we're not trying to find ghosts, but we've heard the stories, so we're just kind of walking around, seeing what it's like. And he was just like, don't, basically.
Yeah.
And then he walks away, and we hear him like radioing, and we're like, okay, he's gonna tell his buddies to be like,
on the lookout for us.
And then he comes back, and he's like, hey guys.
And takes his keys out and puts them at the door of 441.
Yeah,
we did not ask him at all.
No, he just knew we were here for ghosts. He was like, I've been here for 25 years. I've seen everything you can see. And then just goes to open the door. He's like,
totally
let's
unprompted.
go see the scariest room you can.
There were people staying in the room. It was a very weird experience.
It was. They like didn't know when they were checking in or out.
Or when they got there, or what their names were.
But it was pretty funny. They scared the crap out of him. And
we had a moment with Pete, the security guard.
Yeah, we all laughed. And then, we didn't have to be afraid of... He
just kind of let us go on our merry way.
Yeah. We didn't
unguarded. Yeah. No supervision whatsoever. Just roaming the halls. He was cool as soon as we could confirm that we're staying here.
Yeah. As soon as he didn't think we were just strangers from the street, he was like, okay, cool, let me show you some stuff. Mm-hmm. So then we went up to the 12th floor, which is where the woman threw herself and her children out.
That was in 1252. That's on the even numbers.
Yeah.
So in our just like I don't know how to describe, in our just journey through the 12th floor, it was already scary.
It was, listen.
It was ominous. It felt like I couldn't breathe right.
The hallways on the 12th floor were easily like 2 feet narrower than any other hallway. Yeah. The light was also dimmer. The doors were like a weird, like, chopped wood. Why? Why did they make it scarier?
Kelly and I could not comfortably walk next to each other in the hallway.
Yeah. No, it was horrible. Whereas, like, the other hallways, 4 of us could walk side by side. It honestly feels like that floor does not exist. And, like, we stumbled upon something else. Chills. So, that was horrible.
11th floor was also... 11th floor? Almost equally scary, but in a different way. Like, it was well lit.
And there was one experience from your partner, Luz, where they started to walk down. So, God, I don't even know. You really can't understand the layout of this hotel, even if you're in here, but especially if you're not.
Maybe pull up a map.
Yeah. I'm not going to, but you can.
Yeah.
There are stairwells, just some places in the halls. And... a light goes on when you're walking, like, on the landing or on, like, the bottom step of the stairwell. Yeah, on some floors.
Sometimes it's one in the middle of the hallway.
And so we had walked down one already, and it had gone off. And Luz was just staring down the stairwell, and the light turned on. And no one walked by. No one walked up the stairs. No one walked by the stairs. So
from the floor above, you could see that the light turned on.
Yeah.
And then we had eventually, later on, walked down those steps, and the light didn't turn on until we got underneath it.
Yeah, the light didn't, because they were like, well, probably it's like, maybe from just like,
it's motion sensor.
Up here. Yeah. But no, we hit the bottom step and it turned on. They were like, that's what happened, but no one was down here.
Yeah. So we have,
It's 10:15. We plan on being up for a very long time tonight.
Yes, because we have the inside scoop.
Yeah, at 10. It's time to go talk to him.
It's time to go talk to him.
We're going to talk to some employees and see what we can hear from them.
Yeah, if anything, we're going to gather some ghost stories.
Yeah. From
people who have been working here or just started. Actually, that would be nice, too.
Yeah.
To get the people who just started.
So that's what we're going to do, and we'll definitely come back here and talk more. But until then, a little treat that we have found is that it's a common thing, common lore, if you will, that if you start talking about scary stuff in a scary location, you're kind of like inviting that kind of vibe into your essence.
It like kind of sets the tone.
Yeah. So we're going to tell some scary stories right now.
Some personal scary stories.
And just see like if we can scare the crap out of ourselves tonight.
Yeah. And I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too because we do have to like sleep here, and I don't plan like on sleeping, but we do have to at least be tired in this room together.
Like I'm gonna leave a light on.
We are sleeping with all of the lights. That's the other thing. Like the lights are dim. It's creepy.
There's no overhead lighting. It's all like mood lighting.
Yeah.
So like, gross. Do you want to get into your story?
I would love to. So we have just picked two stories from our own personal lives. Well, one story each. And I'm going to talk about one of the more frightening stories that I've had. I was in my first year out of college, and I had a roommate. Her bedroom was directly next to mine, and then from her doorway there was a very long hallway that ran the length of my side wall, and then my doorway was right there in that middle of that long hallway.
Your doors were on the same wall.
Yeah, and then the bathroom was right across from me. So it was just me and her that lived in this apartment, and she was a teacher. She got up early to go to work. I was working wild days because I was a brand new manager at a hotel. And so I think it was like a Tuesday, and it was early, probably like 6 or 7. And she usually got ready at that time, maybe it was a little bit earlier, to go to her job. So I wake up, sun shining in my window. I'm all sleepy, but definitely awake because I had a cat and she was like playing on my bed. And I was like, man, it's really early, dude. And I hear Gabby like walking from her door to right in front of my door. And then I hear her walk back. And then I hear her walk from her door. And again, like, the wall that this is on is directly against where, like, my bed was. So, like, it was like someone was walking to the left of me, basically. And it was a very long hallway. And she would go to the bathroom. Like, she always did her makeup in the bathroom and got ready in the bathroom. So I just figured she was kind of going back and forth. But it happened so many times, and she always stopped right in front of my door. And I was like, Gabby, what are you doing? Because it was, like, it was getting weird.
It was starting to give you, like, a weird vibe.
Yeah, I was just like
that's too much.
Right. It wasn't like, oh, I forgot something again. It was like, what are you doing? Like, I legitimately thought she was, like, trying to, like, be weird to me or something. Like, she knew. And my door was open.
You like, I need a reason why this is happening.
For sure. Then it happened again. And I was like, seriously, Gabby, what are you doing? And then she walked back into her room, and I didn't hear anything else.
I have the chills.
So I had been working, so I was like, okay, what a weirdo. Like, I probably had, like, an attitude, honestly, towards it, because I was like, you're not going to answer me? Cool. And then I went back to sleep. And then I wake up around, like, probably 11 in the morning, and I text Gabby, and I was like, hey, what were you doing this morning? And I'm just, like, getting my coffee ready. And Gabby was like, what are you talking about? I was at Chris's. I spent the night at Chris's.
Oh my God. I did not think you were going to say that.
Yeah. So. I
thought you were going to say, like, oh, I left early.
No, yeah. She was not home that night.
God.
Yeah. Disgusting. Probably.
What did you do?
I don't know. I think I just, like, kind of freaked out. You know, it's so weird when stuff happens to you because you're like, you hear stories. Like, I hear your stories and you're like, I would never. I would leave. Blah, blah, blah. And, like, literally it happens and it's almost like, what do? You're just like, okay, great.
I mean, you're paying rent.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think Matt was probably coming over later that day. So I just probably watched TV, maybe left. Who knows?
Yeah, but you probably had work or something.
Yeah, that was a really gross experience. Mostly because I, like, basically was interacting with it and it still, like, was doing it. And
I did not even think about it like that. You were definitely talking to it and it was, like, acknowledging almost.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
I'm getting scared
And it didn't disappear. It did it again, you know? And it stopped. It just, thinking back on it, it feels like a tease kind of thing because it kept stopping directly. Like, you could tell where people were in the apartment, and it kept stopping directly in front of my door. Like, just so it didn't pass.
Right.
I got chills. So
it was like almost, I don't know, maybe if the door had been open.
The door was open.
What?
No, it's so horrible. I never even slept with my door open.
Did
Why
you
was it
say
open?
that your door was open?
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't register. I'm like,
Kelly never sleeps with her door open. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know why I slept with my door open that night. Did I sleep with my door open? Was it opened? Who knows?
Okay. That one is really bad.
It's really bad. It's really bad, and, like, sometimes I just think about it. I'm like, ew, that's disgusting.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I would do in that situation. I guess I would just, like, probably say the Lord's Prayer.
Sure.
I'd probably turn on every light.
All my lights are always on.
Were the lights on when this happened?
It was morning. That's the other thing. Any kind of scary thing that happens during the day feels so wrong. Because, like, it's light out.
Feels like against the rules.
Right. I'm supposed to be safe now.
Yeah, like, this isn't part of the deal.
Do you understand how to go? Do you even know how to ghost?
That being said, my house was haunted 24/7.
Exactly. So you know what I mean. Sidemark, did we notice that those are the exact same paintings? And is that really creepy, kind of?
There's also holes underneath both of them. Can we examine those holes? Well, we can examine some holes. Might as well be those ones. But speaking of my house...
God, I don't want to speak
we
of your
can
house.
get into my story.
Okay.
This is widely regarded as, like, the most haunted story of my home.
Right.
In my mom's opinion. When I told her I had a podcast, she mentioned that the rolling chair incident. Which, that's all you have to say. It's, like, famous from the people who lived in my home.
Just got chills.
So as you may have, if this is your first time listening, my childhood home was deeply haunted.
Deeply. Deep.
Everyone who lived in the house knew it. So me, my mom, my brother, my grandma, and grandpa. The basement is where most of the activity happened, but it happened pretty much anywhere in the house. We lived in that house from 1997 to 2016, but the house was built in the 70s. over the years, I had come to the conclusion that there was a dark entity living in the basement that we would just call, I don't even know. It had a lot of names, but my mom, we would call it, and now that we're not in the house, I call it the demon.
For sure. You have mentioned him on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Him.
Ooh, yikes. But I think while we were living there, we would just call it whatever's in the basement.
Ugh, yeah, because you don't want to give it too much power.
We want to give it a name. We do. We all would just call it whatever's in the basement. That's probably whatever's in the basement.
Ew, I hate this. I already feel the energy turning in this room.
There was also a little boy spirit. I never saw the little boy spirit.
Ew.
The little kids, the faceless ghosts from episode 1.
Yeah.
I never saw them again, but I have never in my life seen the little boy spirit that lived in the house.
Gross.
I knew he existed because, I mean, he was benevolent. Like, I never felt any fear. I never felt like he tried to hurt me, nothing. I sometimes would hear him humming a tune.
No.
I feel like he might have, like, played with my toys when I wasn't there.
Dude, stop.
But he wasn't...
That's not the story you said you were going to tell. I wasn't prepared for this.
But he never, I wasn't never afraid of him. And I stopped being able to see him after a while. I never saw him. Stopped being able to feel him after a while.
Playing with your toys.
Yeah, like, toys would be in places that I don't remember putting them. And I used to get, like, freaked out by it, but I never felt, like, I don't know how to describe it. It never felt mean, like whatever was in the basement. Which, this is the story of whatever's in the basement.
I'm so cold.
So, late one night, my mom and I were watching TV in the living room. And the living room and the dining room, and kind of the kitchen. The kitchen and dining room were open concepts, so you could see one right into the other. But you could see from the dining room into the living room and vice versa. But not from the dining room to the kitchen.
Okay.
In the kitchen, on the back wall, was the doorway to the basement. The doorway to the basement was wooden steps. And not like finished wooden steps from first floor to second floor, like scary wooden steps.
For sure. What's that movie with Kristen Stewart? She's like a teenager and they move into that creepy house.
I have no idea.
She falls down the wooden stairs and it's like a mush pile.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow. It's giving that.
There was no mush. The floors were tile.
Interesting.
Yeah, the floors were like old school tile, basically.
Ooh, it's worse than concrete.
It was tile over concrete.
I hate this.
You're like, the layers are just getting worse.
It's an onion. It's a rotten onion.
The house was ranch style, so the basement's humongous. Half of it was used for storage, which was where it lived. And the other half was our laundry room, like computer room, air quotes. Cause it was
Shut up. You would go down there and go on the
yeah.
computer? No.
Yes. The computer room, which was really, literally a computer desk and computer table and computer chair against a wall, your back to everything. Everything. If you heard anything, you had to like swivel in your chair real quick.
Was it always down there, like even towards the end, even after this story took place?
As long as I lived there, it was there.
No, your computer.
Oh, no. It moved up into my mom's room. Because then you stopped needing a computer room after a while.
Yeah, that's true.
But the storage was in the unfinished part, like I said. So it was late one night, and my mom and I were in the living room with just the light of the TV.
You're probably watching a scary movie, too, or something.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Not this time. Not this time. But she's the one who introduced me to all that stuff. And we heard, like, what the hell was that? Okay.
We have confirmation that everyone has heard
I hope
something.
that picked up on the mic. We heard, like, the exact sound of the rolling chair on the tile. Just for a half of a second, like rustling.
No, honestly, I just pictured myself there, and I'm gonna start crying.
We looked at each other and had, like a moment of, did you hear that? Like, we both turned at the same time, and we were like, you heard that, right? You know? And she's like, I'll just go check it out. I'm sure it's fine.
No. To be a mother, not me.
Walks to the stairs, walks down the stairs. I'm listening the whole time because I'm scared for my mom.
For sure.
Comes back up, very calmly and goes, that's weird. There's nobody down there. And just like sits down. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Cool.
Everything's great.
Yeah. She was like, it must have been, that's so weird. It's fine.
The wind.
She goes, seems fine though. I'm like, okay, great. Amazing.
Love that.
I totally trust you. It wasn't until, that's the last time we talked about it. Until about, I think it was like 9 years later, there was just one day where my mom asked me if I remember the rolling chair in the basement. She didn't have to finish the sentence because I remember it vividly because it was so real. And I whipped around and I was like, yes, why?
No.
And she goes,
reveal.
The whole time I was walking down the stairs, I heard the chair on the tile moving. And when I got to the bottom, I have chills.
Me too, my whole body.
When I got to the bottom, I literally saw the chair jerk to a hard stop.
Oh my God.
As if it had been moving around, and when somebody laid eyes on it, it had to freeze. And I was like, you did not tell me. And she was like, what am I going to tell you? I was really little at the time. I might have been like 11, maybe.
My eyes are so wet with fear.
But that has stayed with her because, since we started talking about it, now that's one of the main one that always comes up because that really affected her. She saw it come to a stop and calmly walked up the steps and didn't say anything to me.
I have questions.
I have answers.
How do you, as a human being, walk down the stairs, continue to walk as you hear it rolling?
I have said this before, but I really think that she was like, either way, I have to defend my child because there's either they're a human being, which is scarier. A human being is downstairs, or it's, famously, whatever's in the basement,
Ew.
And she is of the mindset that if you assert yourself and you are confident that it will leave you alone.
What is the intruder in the basement doing? Just like playing
I know
Titanic with that chair.
It wasn't like loud. It was like soft.
Ew, stop.
I remember it exactly. It was the
I don't want it.
There was we knew it immediately with the rolling chair. Like we knew
Stop. No. I can't handle that this happened to you.
I know, and this is just like one of many things.
Oh my God.
If you want to hear some more of my deeply haunted childhood home, definitely go back and listen to episode 1. I get into some more stories on there. And to this, I told you at the top of the segment that my mom was like, the rolling chair incident was the worst one for her. I still think there's been, quite a few, but we'll get into them in future episodes. But yeah, the soft rolling of the wheels, and it's not like it took a lot to push it because it was an old chair and we had been in. When you're a kid, you like sit all crazy in the chair and play your games for forever. So it didn't take much effort to move it. So that, at the very least, I think she was like, well, maybe there's a draft.
Maybe I left the window open. But then to like see it stop like that.
And remember, it was facing the wall. So like the back was to all that stuff.
No. And then it was just like what? Like in front of the staircase?
No, she said that she had to go down to the bottom.
She did not put her
she peeked her head outside of
because
it's like there was walls on both.
No.
There's walls on both. I've scared her. Fear tears. There's walls on both sides of the staircase, so you can't see the basement until you put your head out to look or get down there.
Chain that basement up. No one goes down.
The way
anymore.
we used it until the very end.
I know. I can't believe that. See, it's something about like you. I sit here and say this, and it's like when you live in it, it's different.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah. So listen.
Okay.
I think our job here is done. I think we've told scary stories and the energy has shifted and I am sad and happy and scared.
Yeah, the energy has definitely shifted. It was comforting for some.
Matt has passed the fuck out.
He could sleep through a possession, honestly.
In times of stress.
He goes, good night.
He says, nighty-night.
Sweet dreams.
When in doubt, sleep it out. You know what I mean?
H.H. Holmes is carrying him to sleep right now.
He's rocking
He let him. Matt let him.
Let me lull you to sleep in my trapdoor.
Good night.
And Matt said, honestly, thanks.
I think it's just going to be me and you going to talk to the front desk. Let him sleep.
We can't leave Matt here alone.
You think that he wouldn't be okay sleeping here?
He's going to levitate and then wake up.
He's going to be like, I felt like my back feels incredible.
I had the best sleep of my life, and there's like a ghost like trying to kick him awake.
Just shaking. I had a dream I was on a boat. Like,
it was like calm seas.
Honestly, serene.
That's incredible.
So
anyway, I'm horrified. I hope we're back with more stories. If not, I hope this brought a tear to your eye.
Yeah, or a desire to come visit, because I do think it's worth it.
I think so too. It's
bring friends.
It's historic. Don't plan on sleeping.
I don't know what you're into. Maybe you want to. Maybe you want to sleep in the hallway.
Maybe you want a serene boat dream. So, yeah.
But that being said,
please like, subscribe,
rate, and comment on wherever you listen. That helps us out so much. Please rate 5 stars. Or whatever you think we deserve, but like 5 stars.
We're feedback queens. So like I love to know people's opinions. I'm one of those people who would like definitely choose mind reading. Like I don't care what you're thinking. I want to know.
Yeah, no, I think other than mind reading, teleportation, obviously.
So yes, we are on TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, and YouTube, actually.
And Facebook.
And now you can catch us once a week, which is so amazing. Mondays, 9 a.m. Oh, also, I wanted to say, please write in your listener-submitted stories. I want to hear the ghosts. I want to hear your ghost stories. What have you experienced? What have your friends experienced? What did your mother's cousins experience? I want to know.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we have so many scary stories, but they will run out, especially now that we're going to 1 episode a week.
Exactly. And I don't need verification. It could be a passed down story. I just want to hear it.
Right.
Stay tuned for any kind of stories we get from the employees, or perhaps anything that might happen tonight. We don't know. Again, we're here to experience, not to bust.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening and
spilling
the ghoul beans.